Good evening.
Welcome everybody to Sal Algieri Field for tonight's matchup in Division II with the Barrington Eagles and your Westerly Bulldogs. Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you rise as we recognize a moment Before we do that, we're going to have the coin toss and captains for Barrington and captains for Westerly. Captains for Westerly, number 51, Zach Morin. Number 72, Mitchell McLeod. Number 4, Lance Williams. Number 8, John Sullivan. Number 24, Zach Tuck. And number 31, Jimmy Powers. For Barrington, number 72, Tommy Arvelli. Number 32, Peyton Murphy. Number 51, Dan Lemos. Number 21, Noah Kranowitz.
Everyone move back to make room for the seniors! Gotta move back a little bit! Let's go!
Barrington head coach is Sandy Gorham, assistant Stephen Lentz, Adam Tolman, Quinn Morvillo, and Mark DeSisto. For the Bulldogs, assistant coaches Ron Spazzato, Aaron Marone, Danny Miranda, Najee Barrow, Steve Williams, and the head coach of the Bulldogs, Stanley Dunbar. Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you rise as we recognize a moment of silence. Recently, Westerly football lost a friend to our sport. A man who was a former coach at the Pee Wee and high school level for over a decade. I thank his wife Kristen and sons Clayton and Dave Minnick IV for being here tonight. In honor of Dave Minnick III's memory, we ask that you join us in recognizing a moment of silence. Thank you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Westerly High School Band for the playing of our national anthem. Welcome to the officials tonight. The team crew is Kyle Fasaro, Joe DeScilio, Buda Champlin, and Jaden Rios. Tonight's referees are Jeff King, Joe Salavino, Mike Collins, Jack Osterson Jr., on the clock, Nick Petkovich.
Hello one, hello all. The stage is set, let me tell you, we are live. Sal Orcheri Field, where the Westerly Bulldogs are hosting the visiting Barrington Eagles. Folks, flip a coin. They both come in 1-1. They both come in after losing a tough league game in Division 2B, which makes this one loom even larger. The players are taking the field. I am the voice, Greg Morano, alongside producer, owner Shane Belanger. We have crew and Lisa behind the lens. Together we have Westerly.live, Westerly.radio, bringing it to you. We have a beautiful night, folks, for football. Fall's here. You can smell it in the air. You can feel it in the air. It's cold. It's crisp. It is football weather, and it's just going to come down to what they did all week, how hard it's been worked. The whistle's here. Barrington's kicking off here. Bulldogs are set to receive. It is windy out, folks. It is a very windy game. Whose advantage is that? I don't know. The Bulldogs are a good running team. So Barrington runs the ball more often than they throw as well. Set to kick for Barrington. Number 5, Will Hopkins, the senior. They're loaded with seniors. 18 of them. 35 upperclassmen. The ball falls off the tee again. Back to receive for the Bulldogs. Number 5, Terrell Hill, along with number 8, John Sullivan. And the kick. It's up, and here we go, folks. Now it's going to go to Sullivan. He's going to take it at about the 10. He's off. Up to about the 20. He gets to the sideline, folks. He's at the 30. And he makes a spin move and bounce it down. He goes. Nice return to the 35-yard line. Bulldog, great starting position with this offensive line. We'll try to make the first impression of the game. This offensive line has all the capabilities of being a great offensive line, led obviously by senior all-standard Mr. Cloud. He is the left guard. And the Bulldogs are going to go as this offensive line goes. They struggled in the second half last week. I'm not going to get into last week all that much. It's gone. It's good that it happened in the first week of the season. That being said, no more talk about last week. This team's going to move forward, and here we go, folks. We are off. Tucked in the backfield behind Williams. We got 2 near side, 2 wide side. Nelson and Gorman on the near side. We have motion. Coming around is Fasaro. It's going to go off the tuck, off the left side, but the Eagles are there. They stuff it out for a loss of about a yard on first down. Went to the weak side, short side, actually. Weak side and short side on the first play. Barrington was not surprised against motion.
Back to the line of scrimmage will bring up 2nd and 10.
Barrington does have some big boys. They brought 35 upperclassmen, 19 sophomores, 54 total dressed from what I can see. And the interior defensive line, number 51 and number 77, are large, the big men. Marco Lupergolo and number 77, Captain Ryan Valentine. Out of the gun, Williams, set in motion again. Fazaro goes back with a wheel route to Fazaro, and he can't make the catch. So that's going to bring up a 3rd down and 11. I was set up with a wheel route. I watched them run that in practice prior to the game. I watched them run a lot of interesting things. I'm not going to get into this early. Who knows who's listening to the game. But they did run some very interesting plays. So we'll see how we go. First 2 downs, no advantage. Eagles, folks. Bulldogs looking for a big star after the way things went, and they have all the capabilities. They have Gorman's back at it this week, which is a huge, huge factor, obviously. And in fact, he's at wide receiver on the near side, alongside number 3, Luke Nelson. Tucked to the right of Williams, and 2 on the short side. Fazaro in motion again. All 3 plays. Different routes. Williams rolling to the near side. Can't find anyone. Good protection by the line. They have to throw it outside. I think Gorman almost reels it in. Number 4 for the Eagles, and that's Mitch Ewots Jr. They're fired up. Would have been a great catch, folks. That was great coverage. Whenever they force the rollout all the way to the sideline, first of all, that's a good job by the offensive line. He wasn't in that much peril. And that's a great job by their secondary because nobody became open. It all comes down, in my mind, at least early on here for this Bulldogs offense. They need somebody to stretch the field on their passing routes. And he said that, Coach Dunbar said it in the season preview, that they were missing the likes of Luke Marley and their explosive receivers. The punt, it's going to come down at around the 40-yard line. They're going to let it go bad bounce for the Bulldogs. And it continues to be worse. And they're getting away from it. I don't know why. They're going to have to get their heads together. That went all the way to the 46-yard line as they let it bounce in Barrington's favor. That catch only netted about 15 yards. So the Bulldogs defense is going to have to step up. I see starting for the defensive line for the Bulldogs, I see Gorman. You see Sullivan, he's not a defensive lineman, but Rico Spossato, Mitch McLeod, the leader of that line, obviously. And number 50, I see number 52 on the field starting for the Bulldogs. Andre Adams always does. McLeod and Spossato in the middle. You know they're going to try the middle because it worked last week. Number 20 in motion, 7. Rising, hands it off right up the chute, and that's where they found success last week, and that's where they're going to, I said I wasn't going to talk about last week, but I am going to say that they attacked that spot immediately to see if it was vulnerable, and they were able to create enough of space for a decent first down gain of about 6 yards. Number 7, quarterback for the Eagles, Alex McClellan, he's a junior. And we're similar teams thus far this season, although I know that Coach Dunbar, his offense evolves as the season goes on, there's no doubt. Every week there's additions, there's corrections, I'm sure there's subtractions. So that's why I get so excited every week, folks. Under center, McClellan, motion to the near side, he gives up the middle, they test it again, I don't think it was enough for first down to depend on the spot, and yes, it looks like it is. They're discussing. They may pull out the chains, and that's what they're going to do, folks. So with that, Bulldogs offense sputters a bit out the gates here, folks. Barrington defense prevails in the first possession. Barrington's offense, they're set at 2nd down, and we're looking to see if they get a first down on it or if it's 3rd and inches. First 2 plays of the game, Barrington attacks right up the chute. Tolson 200 yards right up the chute. So I'm sure the Bulldogs have cautious ways, and that's good for a first down. So 1st and 10 for the Eagles. The Bulldogs 41-yard line heading in great part due to the bad bounce on that punt. That punt bounced back about 15 yards in the wrong direction for the Bulldogs. The Eagles are in a hurry. The referees have had to slow them down, actually, from getting to the ball. So the Bulldogs have got to be aware. They're running a huddle, but they're running a quick huddle. Out of the gun, number 32 in the backfield for the Eagles. Peyton Murphy, senior captain. Double wing, 2 wide. Motion to the near side, almost stumbles, gives it up to him, keeps it. Number 7 keeps, he's got a little gap. He wrote it, he's still spinning around. Bulldogs haven't taken him down, and they do. But he gained a tough 4 yards. Number 7, Alex McClellan, already making an impression. He pulls it back and just followed him right up. This is a mirror, folks, what we're seeing. I don't know if this is what Barrington ran in week 1, but I'll tell you, they definitely watched week 2. Number 77, big man on the left side of the offensive line. They're utilizing his area quite a bit. Number 7 comes in, McClellan with the play. Not in a hurry up this time. Second down and a long 5 for the Eagles. They're at the 37-yard line. Gorman on the wide side for the Bulldogs. 32 in the backfield for the Eagles. That's Murphy again. Out of the three-point stance from McClellan. He's going from here. Drops back, throws. And it's a little bit too hot for his intended receiver, who was pretty well covered, to be honest, by number 1. That's Trey Rexis on the coverage. Was never really there and overthrew him. That's going to bring up a third down and about 6 yards, really, for the Eagles. Big play here for the Bulldogs. And then a big decision if they can make the play. So in the middle now for the Bulldogs, in the middle of the defense, we have number 65, Brian Allen, and Mitch McLeod. Michael Poole at defensive end on the wide side. Outside linebacker, Gorman. Quarterback making a little adjustment, as is Jimmy Powers, quarterback of the defense. Back to pass, looking to the far side. He's going to throw it. He's got a man. And he overthrows everybody. That actually, Terrell Hill recovered on that. So if it had been low enough to complete it, he would have been there. So 2 incomplete passes forces the Eagles into the first big decision of this ball game. Do you go or do you pin them? Looks like they're going to go. They're going to pin them.
Number 5, Terrell.
One substitution was made. Number 10, Luke Bavier came in.
A 4th down and 7 to go.
In with the decision and the play, McClellan. 4th and 6 for the Eagles. And they're going, folks. Again, Murphy in the backfield, under center McClellan. 4th down, motion, far side, back to pass, to the tight end, overthrows everyone. Not even close, he actually overthrew everyone on all 3 passes. They were too hot and they were too high. Big play for Westerly, folks, as they will take the turnover on downs and their offense will take over again. So the punt didn't matter, the defense stepped up, as did the interior line. Nice job by the defense. And Williams will come in with the play for the Bulldogs. Tuck in the backfield. Hill as well joining. Sullivan near side. Gorman and Nelson far side. He's going to ride the hit. Hill has it. Following his men around it, he gets tripped up in the backfield. That's when he had a little bit of a lane. He did not. Nice tackle by the Eagles. That's going to be a loss of about 4 yards. He had a couple blockers ahead. One of the Eagles defenders sliced through, made the play. So both teams defensively have come out to play today.
That'll bring up a 2nd and 13 at the 34-yard line.
And the Bulldogs break, 2nd down and 14, looking for their first actual positive play here, folks. Early on, but they're looking for their first real momentum grabber. Making a few adjustments. Williams out of the gun, tucked behind, 2 near side. Clapp gives it to him. Inside tackle on the far side. He's going to bulldoze his way. Good gain on the play of about 5 yards. He's going to bring up a 3rd down and a short 8, long 7. Ran off guard between the tackle on the left side. In comes Fazaro for the Bulldogs. Jimmy Powers will get a break. Williams hits the huddle with the play here. Big play, 3rd down and 6 for the Bulldogs. Ball is spotted right around the 40-yard line. Heading out. Good crowd on hand here, folks, at Sallow Jerry Field. When the lights are lit, these brand new beautiful lights, the people flock to the top of the hill. And these players know it, and they're going to put on a show. Motion, near side. This was what we saw the wheel route with. He's going to go get to the slant. Gorman almost made the catch. It was there for more than 1st down yard. It slipped through his hands. You're not going to see much of that. Going to force a Bulldog punt. Great idea offensively. They set up that wheel route with the motion from Fazaro. He looked at Fazaro. Nice job, way to bring the safeties off. Gorman ran the slant where the safety would have been. It was there. I don't know how much he would have gained after. He's a truck to bring down on the run, but even if he was taken down immediately, they would have gained about 10, 15 yards on the play. It would have been a first down. Now he moved. Good snap for the kick, and it's up, and it's a short one, and it looks like it could bounce back again. And it bounces not favorably anyway, pretty much a dead bounce at the 44-yard line. So another punt. That one, that's 6 yards, folks. Well, no, that's 16. It would have been 6 yards past the first down marker. So the beneficiary thus far, I guess, of special teams would go to the Eagles. Nothing huge. I have statistics that I could go over all night long, but these teams are so even on paper, I don't want to miss any of the football in front of me. The Bulldogs, they're high in a lot of the stats in the state. I mean, on the back of Williams and Tuck, you're going to be. But it's how the rest of the team flows with it. And now, at the line, the Eagles, 1st and 10. From their own 45-yard line. Good starting position again, double wing. Murphy in the backfield, motion. Away, he gives it. Murphy up the middle. Taken down, just looking for the spot. Gain of about 6, folks. Good first down yardage. That's going to put him right at midfield, right on the 50 stripe. 2nd down and about 5 to go.
Ball is at midfield, 2nd and 5.
Bulldogs interior being tested early. I mean, who didn't think that they would be after what people had seen? And that's why you make adjustments during the week. Twins near side, number 10 for the Eagles. Luke Bavier. Motion away to number 20. Gives it right up to shoot again to Murphy. They're not going to give up. If they can get 4 yards to play, they'll do it old school style. And you know Westerly would do the same thing. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and extremely short for the Eagles. I don't want to curse anybody, but this game has been on a flow. Offense haven't gotten in a rhythm for the Bulldogs just yet.
It is 3rd and short.
3rd down and short, but a half a yard. Eagles haven't varied from formation other than motion. And again, motion near. Oh, big hit! Holy smokes! The hit of the year thus far off the back of your leader, folks. My God, that'll set the tempo for any game. Mitch McLeod, the all-stater, 2-way lineman. Holy smokes! Not only did he stop them from gaining a half a yard, he blew them back 3 and forced a punt. Now that is a momentum-stealing blow, and that's why we're here tonight, folks. If you weren't excited before, you are excited now. That's the hometown hammer-down hit of the year so far, Mitch McLeod. Barrington Eagles set the punt. Again, squandered. Good field position. Good defense by the Bulldogs. They bend but don't break. Good punt. He's going to retrieve it. He bobbles it. Able to scoop it up at around the 10, taken down immediately. Good coverage by the Eagles. That's a no man's land there. What do? If you let it go, there's a chance the Eagles pin you at the 1. If you don't, if you make the catch, there's a chance you get killed. Punt returner is not a very rewarding, it's not a very forgiving position. I got to tell you, folks. You're standing there like a lame duck while almost 11 guys come at you 100 miles an hour. So that's no fun position to be in, and I don't envy any of them. But the Bulldogs starting in their own hole again. However, on the back of great defense. They got to use that to propel them forward. And there's no doubt that Mitch McLeod just not only inspired, just fired up his offensive line. 1st and 10 Westerly. I've been looking to my left. We've been on the left side of the field most of the game thus far. Time of possession, everything's been about even, folks. There haven't been any penalties. Powers to the near side, along with Sullivan and Nelson. A stoppage here and a timeout on the field. Westerly timeout. With 4:43 to go in the first quarter here, folks. Sal Algieri Field, Friday Night Lights, Bulldogs versus Eagles. Folks, they're both 1-1. They're both 0-1, Division 2B, and they're both playoff caliber teams colliding here in Week 3. Not a must win, but a win that those number 1, 2, 3, and 4, and when I say that, I refer to the seedings in the playoffs. There's a 2A and a 2B divisions, and there's 4 from each division that are going to get in. So do I believe the Bulldogs are going to be qualified one of those 4? I sure as heck hope so, because they definitely have the talent. So yes, I'll say I do. These are the games that number comes in. If you lose these 2 early, you might be looking at maybe a 3 or 4. You never know. That being said, this game, so many fireworks ahead, and this production brought to you in part by McQuaid's Ace Hardware, Wireless Zone, the Knickerbocker Music Center Live, Tim Killam for Westerly School Committee, Lori Wycall for Westerly School Committee, and Caswell Cook for Rhode Island State Senate. Here we go, the Bulldogs out of the timeout. Their offensive line often unrewarded. I don't get a chance to name them all the time, and I don't know why, because I was one of them. But honestly, it's because they're down and dirty in the middle. They're the last to get up. I got no one telling me where they are, so it's tough, folks. But they definitely deserve credit for having not given up any points yet defensively. And that handoff to Powers, that was up to Tuck, right up the shoot, take me out. Gained about 3 yards on first down. In the first two possessions, their first down, they gained no yards, and they gained, I think, -4 or 5 on second possession. So that is their first real positive play on first down.
Bring up 2nd and 8.
Correction, the first possession of the game, they rode off the back of Tuck for a few yards. Let's see what the coach comes up with here. 2nd down and 8. Still on the far side of the field, long way to go. 15-yard line heading out. We got Tuck in the backfield. Gorman and Nelson near side. Crowd alive, clap. Riding them, gives it to him. Off tackle, far side, runs over people. A gain of about 5 with a punishment at the end. You're not just going to bring him down. You better be ready. He's going to punish you. And, folks, that's going to weigh you down. This offensive line and hits like we just saw last defensive possession by McLeod, those wear on you as this 48 minutes ticks down. Let me tell you, but I'm telling you, I'm looking at this middle of this defense, number 51, number 77. They're big boys. Number 51, that's Dan Lemos. He's a senior. Number 77, they're both captains, Valentine. They've both been very active thus far. Bulldogs break the huddle. Big third down. I say everything's big. Everything's big this early in the game. 3rd and 2. Out of the gun, Tuck to his left. Got one wide receiver to the left, wing left. Twins right. The clap. He's going to keep it this time. Quarterback draw. He's got room. Way to read the field. And he's going to get a little extra help by Allen at the end. They're going to take him down, but not before first down yardage. Good read by Williams. Pulled it back from Tuck. And there was a nice initial hole by that offensive line here on the right side. There's no doubt about that. Once he reached the second level, though, a couple wiggles, and he gained a few extra yards. That's the weapon you have in Williams. He can read. He doesn't just either hand it off to Tuck or not hand it off to Tuck. He reads the defense. He has reads. He reads the defensive end. If the defensive end crashes, he knows what to do. I'm not going to tell you his reads, but he does have particular reads. He has to make every play on the fly, and he does one heck of a job. 2 backs in the backfield for the Bulldogs. He's going to give this one up to shoot, and it's not going to get him. Oh, nice cut to the outside. Terrell Hill. He provides that elusiveness. Holy cow. He got buried in the middle there and just disappeared, popped out, and he's all the way up to going to give the Bulldogs a lot more reasonable of a 3rd down. 3rd down and about 1 yard to go. And look at the replay. The replay you just saw, he's got some quick feet. Disappeared into that line, and if you don't wrap him up, folks, he'll squirt right out. Bulldogs break the huddle.
Ball is placed on the Bulldog 35-yard line.
3rd down on the field. 2 wide receivers each side. Williams puts Fazaro in motion, sets that belly motion, throws up the field to Gorman again. Oh no, he missed him on a wide open home run hitter. Holy cow. 2 opportunities, but that one, the coach definitely saw something there. He broke down that defense schematically before that play, and it worked out perfectly. They just didn't make the connection. Oh man, that's 2 missed opportunities at first downs that they would have gotten, that would have broken the midfield barrier that they haven't broken yet. Both of them would have. And that one right there, if you hit them in stride, that's the end of it. That's a home run. They're kicking an extra point right now. So the Bulldogs, 3rd down on the field. I thought that was 3rd down. Correction, 3rd down here. Hill again in the backfield with Tuck. Gorman, the tight end to the far side. Sullivan and Nelson real side. He gives it to Tuck. And there's a pile there. He's trying to spin his way forward, and he does manage to spin a couple times to get a little bit, but I think they're going to have to pull out the sticks for the... Oh, that's not a great spot. We're going to have to see, and it gives it to him, I think. And it is good for a 1st down, and boy, that's a sigh of relief. When you miss a play like that, to be able to bounce back, even though you didn't do anything all that fantastic to bounce back, you got enough for a 1st down. Your offense isn't reeling anymore. They definitely have holes in this, have found holes in this Barrington defense already. And they found them by way of Ben Gorman, and you can't do that. You can't do that if you're the Eagles defense. The Bulldogs aren't going to strike out and miss a third connection. Too wide to the near side, too wide to the far side. Cesaro again in motion. Belly's back. To Tuck again. Nice move at the line of scrimmage. Completely shook the first defender and finally dragged down, but gains a nice 4 or 5 yards on first down. And that's where the Bulldogs can start to march. There's a flag in the backfield. Our first one. And he's explaining it to Westerly. Never a great thing when that's happening. I didn't understand the motion he gave, but I know it signified something not legal. Let's see the official backed him up quite a bit. So 5 yards back, we're going to repeat first down. First down and 15 now instead of second down and 5. In comes Powers. Williams with the coach brings in the play here. So the Bulldogs have had areas, man, following that McLeod hit. If you could have hit Gorman on either of those, they would have the energy. They'd have the momentum. The crowd's a little bit quiet at the moment. Finally starting to pick up a little bit. They're just waiting for a reason to erupt. The crowd's on hand, and finally, maybe they can hear me because they're starting to get a little bit louder here now. Williams calls out his cadence. Clap. Rides it to the left side and gives it off to Tucker early. Nice move, cuts in and then back. Gets to about the original line of scrimmage. Second down and 10.
Ball carrier number 24, Zach.
Gains the 5 penalty yards back.
Tackled on the play by number 7, Alex.
So the Bulldogs, a long drive thus far, pounding their way.
Second and 10, Bulldogs.
And they have found holes. It's just a matter of when they can exploit them. Because, I mean, if you make that connection, even if it was on the short one, you're spreading things out for Tuck. So, I mean, every reception makes the running back just a little bit better. Tuck deep in the backfield. Trips near side. Whistle on the field.
And that'll be the end.
And that's going to wrap up the first quarter of action here, folks, at Sal or Jerry with no score. I will say nobody's really threatened either, folks. The Barrington Eagles have had good starting position on a few drives, and the Bulldogs defense bent a couple times, did not break. And I think emotionally, man, I think they took control right on the back of their captain all-stater on that one huge hit. Defensively, offensively, can't get in the rhythm. But they have the ball, they're moving. You're always able to do that when you have Williams and Tuck. They just haven't made the connection on 2 plays that were there. And you got to figure, folks, those are tough adjustments to make while the first half is in progress on the fly. Those are things, a lot of them, because I've seen other holes as well in the passing game here that the Bulldogs may be able to exploit. And as far as the defense, if you're Barrington, you can only make so many, or any team, you can only make so many adjustments while you're on the field. Sometimes it takes that break to make the adjustment at halftime, and sometimes it takes a week to make it. So let's see how Barrington adjusts to the D, and let's see how the Bulldogs come out here in the second quarter. The cheerleaders are fired up. They're all up in the air. Bulldogs take the field, going straight to the line of scrimmage. Cesaro and Sullivan are going to be near side. Gorman and Nelson far side. Out of the gun with Tuck to his right from the 37-yard line. Second down and 10, no score. Westerly.live, Westerly.radio, bringing it to you, folks. Clap, snap, look, fire, out route. Gorman reels this one in, brought down immediately, nice defense. Number 4, Mitch Evans, the junior on the Eagles, is right behind him. Made the reception, so that's going to bring up a third down and about 6. Like I said, every reception helps. And the way this defense really hasn't broken at all, if you can make this reasonable, Coach Dunbar isn't afraid to go for any fourth down. So here we go, third down. A long stick, short 7. Out of the gun. Far side's going to be Sullivan. Near side trips in a bunch. Tuck to Williams left. Loretti. No motion, Clap, he gets the ball. Looking to his left, he fires, and it's off the hands again of Gorman. And that route was run, I'm going to be honest, folks, it was run perfectly at the sticks, if not inches short, and definitely 4-down territory. Those two are definitely, Williams definitely targeting, that's the 4th target to Gorman. So they're going to make that adjustment and cover him in half. There ain't no question. And they've been able to make one connection. So that's something that's got to be rectified here. Again, nobody on the board yet. Bulldogs forced a punt from their own 41-yard line, 4th down and 7. And the snap. The kick. Nice spiral, nice punt, falls, and then that's going to be a Bulldog bounce. It's fielded on the far side. Still on his feet on the far side. And the Bulldogs finally knock him out with a big hit. And that big hit brings a big flag. That big flag brings a big 15 yards. That 15 yards steals momentum, folks. Personal fouls will kill you, especially when it's 0-0 and you're trying to get momentum. You're trying to steal the first score, defend your home field. It was a big hit. It was out of bounds in the crowd, and that's going to cost them. So let's see the spot. Looks like it's going to be at about the 43-yard line of the Bulldogs in that vicinity. If you're going to do it, you get your money's worth, and he did. I don't promote it, so I won't recognize the offender. So with that said, 1st and 10. Bulldogs are out to hit. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you folks. A hit in general fires me up. So I'm glad they're out to hit. Now they just got to find the right spots. They're down in 4-3 defense. Gorman essentially can step up and do what he wants. Right up to shoot. And they find space. Quarterback draw, and he's off. Oh, man, this is a mirror image of last week. And he slides into the end zone, folks. That was a mirror image of Portsmouth QB Tolson as he found space on the quarterback draw on 1st down. And let me tell you, that's deflating right there. That was identical. Oh, man, that was like, holy cow. I did not expect to see that. Bulldogs down 6-0. Barrington set to kick the extra point. And they took the blueprint in the first half of what was successful in the second half last week. They, meaning Barrington, make no qualms about it, running it out of a little bit of a different formation than Portsmouth did, but running essentially the same offense. Bulldogs, however, they trail by the bad hold. He gets it up. The extra point looks good, and it is good. They trail by 7. However, their offense has had a number of opportunities, and I know with that coaching staff they're going to exploit it, and they're going to find more opportunities. I do see the Bulldogs scoring a good amount of points here tonight. They just got to get it in gear, and they got to get it in gear soon. We are down to 10:45 in the second quarter, and they have yet to, I think they got over midfield once, very little, penalized back to their own side. So they haven't threatened at all. And I was saying the defense was bend but don't break, and then that happens. That's an energy stealer, folks, and energy is everything. Bulldogs return team set to take the field. Let me tell you, folks, you don't get a better atmosphere than this coming in. This team, this is a fired-up Bulldog team. The Eagles got here a little late, had time to warm up. I'd say both teams came in. No team came in down. Both teams came in ready. I think we're in for a battle here tonight, folks. You better buckle up because we got a lot of football ahead. I think we got a lot of hitting ahead, and I believe that there's going to be a decent amount of scoring in front of us. I think that this back and forth throughout the first quarter, these quarters with no scoring, I don't think we're going to see very many of them. I mean, I have season stats on tackle leaders, interception leaders, that's Rex's, everything on this team, but I can't get to them when we have this on the field right now because this is the here and now, and this is where it places you down the road, whether you maybe you get a playoff game under these lights at Sal Jerry Field, or you need to make up the deficit and win ball games here. Waiting for the whistle. Barrington. And the kick is up. Line driver to the back line. Tuck lets it go. It's going to bounce. And that's the trouble. It bounces to about the 3. You got to pick it up and go. Make some moves on the sidelines. And he's capable of making up as he throws a man down at the 27-yard line. Nice return by Tuck. And gets the Bulldogs a decent starting spot at about the 37-yard line. Wakes up the crowd a little bit. Zach Tuck, the main energy provider here in the offense thus far. You've had a few deep breaths, and when I say deep breaths, I mean he drops back and lets go, and it's there, and then you just gotta make the connection. Trips wide side, gets it, gives it to Tuck up the middle, and he's cut down after he gained it too. That's what you gotta do. You gotta double team, take him down with 2 men, and short gain on 1st down. Sets up second down and about 8 on the near hash, their own 27-yard line. In comes Hill. Cesaro gets a break. Nope, Cesaro's going to head back in as well. Bulldogs break the huddle. Second down and 8 on their own side of the field. Trips far side.
29-yard line.
Nelson, Gorman, and Fazaro. And he's going to ride Hill, and he keeps it. And he keeps it inside the tackle and spins his way forward, only for about 2 more. So Williams tries to follow his blocker up inside the tackle. Not a lot of room. Brings up a third down and about a long 6 to go for the Bulldogs. Trying to get some type of rhythm here. The Bulldogs in Barrington, like I said, entered with an 0-1 Division 2B record. Bulldogs lost to Portsmouth, and Barrington lost to Shea. And the Bulldogs travel to Shea next week. Barrington only lost 15-14. I don't know what that means. You can make it up compared to how this turns out, whatever. Bottom line is it's an equivalent team. So if this is a tough game, you got to expect a battle on the road next week, which makes this important, even more important. Out of the gun, tucked to the right. Trips far side. Sullivan near side. Pulls it back at the last second. He's under pressure. He's going to roll for his life. He's going to have to throw, and he does. And he's got the arrow maybe, and they make the catch. What a play. What a connection. And Williams slow to get up, but holy smokes. That'll steal your momentum, folks. Let me tell you that, under pressure, under duress, running for his life. I mean, he pulled that ball out of Tuck's breadbasket, and Tuck looked like he was grabbing. He almost had a tough time taking it back at the last second. And the defensive line was there. Fazaro, what a route. Way to use your body and be able to position yourself to be the only one to catch that ball, and Williams to be able to drop it into that little basket. Hello, the Bulldogs offense has finally taken the field. 1st and 10 at the Eagle 38, heading in. Deep in the backfield, Tuck. And he keeps it, rolls to the far side. And it's out and up, and he's got him. And it is incomplete. Good coverage. He stayed with him the whole way. Well run, well, it was an out and up. And I actually followed it the whole way because pretty much that's where the flow went. And the defender did a pretty good job of maintaining coverage. So I like the idea. You go for it. You have the energy, you got the momentum, you got the crowd. Go ahead. Why not? When you have Williams and Tuck in the backfield, 3 downs is not a big deal to get a first down. And when I say 3, it's second down. You'd say, no, there's only 2 left. Now, when you're on the opponent's side of the field and you have the ability and talent that this Bulldog team has, 4th down is always a possibility. And in my estimation, from here in, it's almost always a go. And he's going to pull back, cuts inside the end. And he's in trouble using a stiff arm. Man, did Williams, the quarterback, use a tough stiff arm to ride the defender to a 4-yard gain off the right side. The first thing he did was shake the defensive end. And then he used the stiff arm on an outside linebacker. That's your quarterback, folks. But when I say that's your quarterback, you don't often say your quarterback's also your punt returner, line safety, linebacker on D sometimes. He is a warrior on the field. There's no doubt about it. He's tough as nails. He has been since he was there as a sophomore. And he's a big reason for the excitement that, for good reason, surrounds this football team. They have big things to do this year and big places to go. I truly believe it. Offensive line gets set. Motion. Nelson, short motion, rolling, near side, looking, up the field he goes again. And he's got Gorman this time. He stays in bounds, does he? Touchdown, Westerly. They make the connection. I told you they would on the corner route. Eventually, there was an out route run. Safety rolled, ran the corner. Beautiful throw on the run. That's how Lance Williams really loves to reside, is on the run. And he dropped it in the pocket. Bulldogs on the board. 7-6 pending the extra point. By the way, great blocking offensive line. You gave him the time on the rollout he needed for that route to develop. Because if he's got to throw early, Gorman's still running up. You got to wait until he makes that break to the corner, and that's how you lose the defender, and he did. And he dropped it in that basket. Man, let me tell you, great catch, way to tiptoe the sideline. The agility of Gorman, honestly, at his size, to be able to maneuver his body the way he does is really ridiculous. And that's why the coach dubbed him a future D1 athlete. There's no question. When you see him on the field and when you don't, there's a huge difference in the team. The kick, the extra point is up and good. And we got a tie ball game, folks. 7:10 to go. Second quarter of action. Bulldogs 7, Eagles 7. Eagles getting set to kick. Folks, this production was brought to you in part by McQuaid's Ace Hardware, your local family-owned hardware store located on Franklin Street in Westerly RI, your fall cleanup headquarters. Wireless Zone, your Verizon authorized retailer located in Dunn's Corners next to Duncan. Cell phone sales, service, and repair. Get up to $1,000 off iPhone 14 with trade-in when you pre-order. The Knickerbocker Music Center Live. Watch local bands live from the Nick in downtown Westerly RI, a premium streaming service brought to you by the Knickerbocker Music Center and Westerly Live. Tim Killam for Westerly School Committee, Lori Wyckoll for Westerly School Committee, and Caswell Cook for Rhode Island State Senate. Folks, as they tend to the player down on the field, which we never want to see, we're going to go to a quick break, and we will be right back.
Hi, I'm Lori Wyckoll, and I'm running for Westerly School Committee. Our education needs to get back to basics. Students should be focusing on reading, writing, arithmetic, and science during the school day. We need safe and secure buildings, which means a student resource officer in every school, and disciplinary policies that hold students accountable. For years, I've been that parent, asking questions, looking for answers, and voicing my opinion. I'm still that parent, and I'll be there for you, open, empathetic, and communicative. On November 8th, vote Lori Wyckoll for Westerly School Committee.
Let's have a hand for the injured Bulldog, number 68, Jose Huerta.
Alongside producer, owner Shane Belanger, we have Lisa and True behind the lens. We are Westerly.live, Westerly.radio, bringing it to you live from Saturday, from Sal or Jerry Field. Friday Night Lights. Folks, the players are doing all the work for me. There is a battle in front of us on the field. Both teams come in 1-1. Barrington, Westerly. They got to fight it out. This is a pit bull dog fight right now. The Bulldogs have had an opportunity, I'm going to tell you right now. They could have more than they have, but the bottom line is they did make the connection. They tied things up, and it's only uphill from here. The kick, number 7 for the Bulldogs, Andrew Bozek. And that one, they're going to let it bounce. They could have let it bounce out of bounds. They didn't. Number 24 on the return for the Eagles. Gaining a few yards. Finds space. Oh, no. There's got to be a hold call there. He's ripping them apart. And he still went. I can't believe they let 77 get away with that hold. Number 8 for the Bulldogs is going to catch him at about the 7-yard line. Andrew Bozek. That was not good. Someone was being... that was a missed call, and I'm not one big one to say that, folks. I just don't know how they missed that. I really don't. I mean, our number 40 on our team, or whoever it was literally running down the field trying to get away from him and couldn't. That's a tough break. Bad special teams by the Bulldogs. Nevertheless, that's only one player. There's 11 on the field. There were 10 other ones that could have made the play, that should have made the play. That was a great return by number 24 of the Eagles. Charlie Potter IV is only a sophomore, folks. And the Bulldogs already this season have given up a season's worth of kick return problems, touchdowns, near touchdowns, issues, and they had sometimes got to be resolved. They just blew their momentum, blew it right out of the water. I can imagine how frustrated they are, because I am. Right up the chute they go. Mitch McLeod buries the man up the chute, but the other side, he battles his way all the way forward into the end zone for the Eagles. McLeod hit the first man through, much like he did on that big play last possession. They went to the other side, found a little opening on the defensive line, and barreled his way all the way up and into the end zone for a Barrington score, 13-7, folks. That's how you answer and deflate a touchdown. That's how you answer and deflate a team. Barrington's done it. They're doing it. 13-7, ready to be 14. I was all excited. You made the connection with Gorman. You found him open on 3 different routes. You found him open on a slant. You found him open on a post in. You found him open on a corner. You go up the seam. Extra point is good, 14-7. And the Bulldogs kick return team will take the field. Just when you think the Bulldogs grab it, folks, Barrington bites right back. 6:45 to go. Second quarter of play. Now at the top of this entire division, if you want to go in order, folks, you got East Providence, Cumberland, and Woonsocket. They're the only teams that are undefeated. They're all undefeated, and they're all 1-0 in the division. 3 teams. Out of those teams, you're gonna face Woonsocket later on in the season. Then you see the likes of Portsmouth, correction, and you've already seen them. Then Barrington, South Kingston, St. Ray's, Cranston West, Shea, Westerly. All of them are bunched together at 1-1. 0-1 in the division. So all those teams reside at 0-1 in the division. The rest remain winless at the moment. So these one-loss teams at this point in the season, some of them are going to start separating themselves. These are big tilting factors as the season progresses. Bulldogs, remember, only have one more home game this season. Yeah, folks, it feels like we haven't been here at all. We were here once. We have tonight, and believe it or not, we're only going to be back for the Central game. And I don't say we're only going to be back. We're only going to be back. They only have 3 home games scheduled this year. So with the schedule against them, there's big hopes for the squad. Let's see how they bounce back. It's just frustrating when your offense and your defense work so hard, and they have worked hard, and they've done well to only be trailing 7-0. You work so hard, you grab momentum, you tie the ball game, and special teams. They're such a key factor, and they're a killer. They win and lose games at any point in the game. The kicker for number five, lets one loose up the middle of the field, and that's going to be taken in by Sullivan. Past the 20, 25, to the near sidelines, cuts in, finds some space. He's on his feet, spins around, and goes down at about the 34-yard line, where the Bulldogs will start. Let's see, make sure everybody up. So the Bulldogs will start 1st and 10 from the 35. Bulldogs have found success on the ground and in the air. I mean, and I'm saying finding success in the air. They haven't made the connections, but they have found success because they know where there are holes and openings, and they're going to exploit them. They're going to expose them. Coach Dunbar does that. He's not going to be out coached in any game. And that's what I mean. He has this game. The Bulldogs, I believe, have come in with the better game plan. They've come in and stopped them defensively primarily, other than that darn draw. Out of the gun. Tuck up the middle. Breaks the first tackle, cuts to the outside, And he bulldozes the man and is finally forced out after a gain of 9 yards and a leveling hit at the end. It's going to bring up second down and short, less than a yard. As he climbed the ladder, nice run by Tuck, nice blocking on the edge by Sposado and McLeod for the Bulldogs.
At the 43-yard line.
Second down and 1. Powers comes in. Williams with the play. Poole gets a break for the Bulldogs. Williams giving a little extra instruction here as they take the line second and short. Anything on the table here for Coach Dunbar. He loves this situation. With Tuck in the backfield, Williams throwing on the run, he can do anything. And he keeps it on the rollout to the far side with time. Throws a P, he's got his man, first down. And a gain of about 9 on it brings them just about to midfield. And now they're starting to hone in on their passing game. Nice connection on the far side. Nice throw by Williams. Waited right until he had to. Put it where he had to. 1st and 10, Westerly, midfield. So the Bulldogs offense is starting to heat up a little bit here. Starting to put the foot on the gas. Near side, number 65, Brian Allen. And he gives it to Tuck. Counter motion. Bulldozes away, gets about 3 yards on the play with the spot. A little counter step on it, tries to get the defense to commit a little bit, overcommit. That's going to bring up a second down and about 7 for the Bulldogs at the 47-yard line, heading in. Down 14-7, 5.5 to go, second quarter action. Westerly.live, Westerly.radio, bring it to you from Sal Algieri Field, folks. The glow on top of the hill, that means there's football here in Westerly. People know it, they flock, and if they don't have to. Now they can watch it right here, Westerly.live, Westerly.radio, bringing it to you. Tuck deep in the backfield. Nelson near side, gives it to Tuck, off guard, between guard, Tuck, he's got room. He's breaking tackles, and that's good for another Westerly. First down. So the Bulldog offensive line is starting to set the tone here a little bit.
Number 4, Mitch Ivitz on the tackle.
And the crowd, the dog pound, is barking and chanting. Crowd on their feet for the Bulldogs as they're starting to set the impression here offensively. Adams on the far side with Allen. Near side, Sposado with McLeod. And Morin at center. Center is always you get the least credit. And he makes some moves. He's in trouble back there, folks, on this one. And down goes Williams on a huge loss. First sack of the day. And protection broke down a little bit on that one. But as I was saying, center doesn't often get mentioned. It definitely ends up at the bottom of things, are lost in the play. And Morin, the senior captain for the Bulldogs, number 51, he's having a good season. He really is. And it's what they expected out of him. But he's also one of the leaders on this squad. The Bulldogs have some key pillars on that offensive line, key seniors in Morin and McLeod. They're clearly the leaders. Andre Adams, he's extremely young, excellent athlete, already on the field as a sophomore. He can hit, he can move as a guard. He comes up to the second level, cuts back. He breaks 2 tackles, finds some space. How he made a positive out of that play, I don't know. But he turned it into almost 5 yards. Again, the hole was not there. He was almost hit immediately. Third down and 8 to go for the Bulldogs. Ball down at the 32-yard line, it looks like. And I will say, when there was a player down on the field, folks, I did see Williams working on his elbow a little bit here on the sidelines, but he's made a throw on this possession, and I'll keep an eye on it and hope that there's nothing there. Just general soreness or maybe quite a helmet to it, because they definitely get banged up when you play defense and you play everything. Tuck has it near side on the stretch, and he is brought down with no gain on the play, on the tackle, number 20, off in the wing, motion man in the backfield for the Eagles. That's A.J. Diorio. He's a junior. That's going to bring up 4th down for the Bulldogs. Now I'm going to tell you, I watched the kicker in pregame. He was pretty consistent with the wind swirling in crazy directions with when the placement was around the 35-yard line. He was consistently making them. I'll give them that. But any further and game situations obviously lessen and thwart that. And this snap would put it beyond that. So they're going 4th down. 2 wide right. 2 near side. Tucked to the right. Out of the gun. Crowd alive. Motion. Fazaro. Belly motion. He's going to run that wheel around. He's going to hand up the screen. Can he get it off? He can, but nobody's home. They gave up protection a little too early. You got to hit and then let go. You got to hit and then let go. Number 66 broke immediately through, and Williams wasn't given the opportunity to let that screen develop, let his running back get to where he needed to go. And unfortunately, it's a turnover on downs, and there's only 2:19 left to go here in the second quarter of play, first half of action. Halftime, folks. We're going to go to a quick break and then bring you a cheerleading show and then a marching band performance. Twas the night before Christmas. Stay tuned during the break. Nightmare Before Christmas. Under the gun, he's giving instruction. They're going to try to strike and create distance, there's no doubt, and he's telling them he's open. I think they just realized it. Number 1 for the Bulldogs, Rex just goes over. There was a man wide open. He hands it off the middle. Fortunate for the Bulldogs, that wasn't a quick snap, and they didn't make communication quicker. They could have gained at least 10. Could have gained at least like 10 yards on it.
That'll bring up a 2nd and 8.
2nd down and 8 for the Eagles, approaching 2 minutes. As the quarterback for the Eagles will take the play, and don't be shocked if they run the ball, folks. That's where they've had their success here. And they've had big success when he pulls it back and runs that quarterback draw. Right now it's a nightmare for the Bulldogs, speaking of nightmares. Adams at defensive end on the near side for the Bulldogs. Allen inside with McLeod. There's a push, but no rush. He's bottled up, he goes. There's room up the middle. Whether he's finding success, that's going to be almost a first down, and it is going to be good for another Eagle first down. At about the 43-yard line, they're going to spot it.
That is good for a first down.
They're running off the second level and just doing a good enough job to squeak through. And
The 43-yard line.
Bulldogs get to find an answer for it. As they bring in Senior Moore in here on the inside to see if they can find a solution. Adams, Morin, McLeod. And on the far side, Poole. Trips far side. It's going to come here. Pitch to the near side. And Fazaro misses. He stays in bounds. And there's a whistle. Yeah, he was forced out of bounds right at midfield. He really only gained just a couple yards. So it's going to bring up a 2nd down and about 3 yards on the play, if I'm not mistaken. I think the far side of the markers got it wrong. He was forced out early. Decent job by the Bulldogs D. Still got to make that tackle on the first man to touch them. Got to bring him down or at least hold him up. We're at 54 seconds in the half. The clock is stopped. The Eagles have their timeouts in their pocket. Bulldogs got to hold on to this here, folks. This would be a huge mental victory going into the half. Moral victory, whatever you want to call it, something positive. Trips far side, 20s clear out, doesn't like it. Goes up the hash, nobody there. Good coverage by the Bulldogs. There were 3 or 4 Bulldogs there. That's going to hold the clock at 48 seconds. It's going to bring down 3rd down at about midfield. 3rd down and about 4 to go for the Eagles. What a game we've had for you folks. I brought all sorts of fun stuff to talk about. There's no time when there's action like this on the field. This is going to go down to the final 2 minutes, and I expected nothing less. I still think this Bulldog offense they're just off clicking. They're just off. And they've shown that. So let's see if they make their adjustments at the half. This defense has played well. They're giving up yards up the middle. There's no doubt about that. If you're watching, you're seeing. And you're kind of seeing how they're doing it. In the middle for the Bulldogs on defense, the interior linebacker, Powers and Griffin Aldrich. Quick throw, number 20 almost picked off. Great D by none other than QB Lance Williams. He's there when you need him to be. Brings up 4th down. And if you're the Eagles, you really can't afford to go for it. God forbid something, and they take over here. Let's see what the Bulldogs can do. There's 44 seconds left. They still have, I do believe, one timeout in their pocket, if I'm not mistaken. It's hard to tell. They're going to set the punt. Good D by the Bulldogs. Way to make sure nothing terrible happened before the half. They've played a good half, intermediate half. There's been pros, there's been cons in the first half. Extra protection in the middle for the Eagles. And nothing there. We're looking for the return here. None other than Williams reels it in. Only quarterback that's a punt returner in the state, I can promise you that, and that's why right there, as he's taken down by about 3 defenders. And that's going to bring up first down for the Bulldogs at their own 29-yard line. 33 seconds to go, second quarter. Bulldogs trail 14 seconds in what has been a fantastic football game. There's been a little chess match back and forth. Definitely use of last week's films on both sides. Exploiting some of last week's weaknesses. The Eagles aren't the only team who's done it. The coaches staff of the Bulldogs have done it with the passing routes they're running and with the stretch runs. They've done it all over offensively. The Bulldogs have accumulated a lot of yards, and they could have a real lot if it wasn't for a couple inches here or there. It's a game of inches. That's what's going to happen. Eagles come out in a 4-3. They roll the linebacker up. Out of the gun, maybe try one time. He's going to shoot. He's going to go up deep near side. And he's got a man. He just overshoots him. He had the distance, and he had him. Number 7, Andrew Bozek, the intended man. Again, that's the story of the first half. 3 yards, 2 yards away from another Bulldog score. They could have, would have, should have put up maybe 4 touchdowns this half, folks. I'm not kidding you. Just a little bit off, a little timing. Good blocking on that one by the offensive line. They let him take a 3. He actually rolled it back to maybe a 5-step drop, which is what Williams doesn't normally do, really isn't comfortable doing. I don't want to speak for him, but in the pocket, that's not where he normally resides. And threw a nice ball of it, just overthrows his man. 2nd down and 10. If they get protection like that and they have timeout, you might as well go for another, but I think they're going to ride tuck here. You got 2 wide, both sides. Let's see what happens. Motion, Fazaro sets up trips. He's going to keep it. Drops back, rolls to the far side. He likes to roll. He's under pressure now, though, at the far sideline. Puts it up in the middle of the field, short of Cesaro. Man, that's always a dangerous throw across your body to the middle of the field. You can never really get much on that kind of throw. That could have done more bad than ever good. You don't want to release that ball. 18 seconds to go, first half. You're the Bulldogs. I don't take another chance after that one. You got away with one, and maybe you call it half, but I don't know. Coach, let's leave it to the coaches for that. They throw a touchdown pass here, and I take my foot right out of my mouth. I expected fireworks. I expected a dogfight. I love it. This is fantastic. Every minute in this puppy dog is going to count, folks. Morin at center for the Bulldogs. Again, out of the gun. Williams tuck to his right. 2 wide each side. Bozek and Fazaro to the near side. Gorman and Nelson, far side. Covered 3 for the Eagles, 4 even. He's under pressure. He makes a move. He's still got time. And now he's under pressure again, and he finally gets wrapped up and brought out of bounds. They're going to let the clock run. In fact, that'll let the half come to a close. Folks, that is 2 quarters in the books here from Sal Augeri Field. Barrington Eagles come in town, and they got 14, Bulldogs 7. Let me tell you right now, folks, this has been an unbelievable game. Bulldogs have had many, many opportunities. Second half is all going to come down to the adjustments they make here, folks. What a night. I am the voice, Greg Morano, alongside producer, owner, Shane Belanger. We have Lisa and True behind the lens. We are Westerly.live, Westerly.radio, and we got a couple halftime shows for you, so stay tuned.
I am Timothy Killam. I'm running for Westerly School Committee, and I ask for your vote on November 8th. In November, we have our school bond on the ballot, facing the needs to renovate our elementary schools. Our high school and middle school both were renovated within the last several years. However, the elementary schools have always been lacking in repairs. I have had the opportunity to have a student attend every single elementary school within our district for at least 1 full school year, and being an involved parent, I was able to see the efficiencies and deficiencies of our buildings. Now is the time. We need our improvements in our buildings done for our students, staff, and families in Westerly. We need better climate control, better lighting, improved technology. Those are just some of the things that will help our students grow and prosper within Westerly.
anyone lost a set of keys for a Toyota, someone has returned them to the press box. So a set of keys, Toyota keys, are in the press box. If you had lost any keys, come up to the press box. Dean Lavoie, if there's Dean Lavoie, come up to the press box. Dean Lavoie, if you are here, come up to the press box. Got something for you.
Welcome back, everybody, and now the fireworks begin. We have 24 minutes of football left, 2 quarters. The Bulldogs trail by 7. Game number 3, chapter 3 of the 2023 Westerly Bulldog football story. And how this story ends, folks, it all depends on quarters like this. Early on, down in the trenches. Last week they lost it in the trenches. This week, I think they're right in this one. I think they can even separate themselves. We got an excited Barrington Eagle team and a confident one. They went into halftime on the road with the lead. Their recipe coming into the game was not all that different from the Bulldogs, from Portsmouth's recipe. And it's been successful. And I don't know how do you stop it as a defense. I'm sure the coaching staff has all the answers. I know that a lot of times they're simply running more guys through the hole than there are defenders. When you have a center, 2 guards, and you send your back through and you follow them, you got 4 guys in that hole, and there's about 4 defenders, and now you're the 5th. So the numbers don't add up, and the coaching staff makes the adjustments. There's no doubt about it. I do believe the Eagles folks are going to try to exploit that again. They're going to go back to it without a doubt, and the Bulldogs just got to make sure they don't pop one, because the 3 touchdowns that Tolson ran last week against the Bulldogs were all big touchdowns, 25 yards, 30-something yards, and one even longer. And the one that the Bulldogs gave up here, another big touchdown, a 30-something yard game. So they can't give that up here in the second half, folks. So the Eagles set to receive. I am the voice, Greg Morano, alongside producer, owner, Shane Belanger. We have Lisa and True up behind the lens. We are Westerly.live, Westerly.radio, and we are bringing it to you under the lights, Sal or Jerry Field, Westerly Bulldog football action. It's going to come down to now who's going to smack who in the face. The Bulldogs have had the opportunity, but folks, I'm not going to be hard on Williams because I kind of forget. I'm in an enclosed environment here, climate controlled. It is windy as heck. Squib kick to start. Handled by number 1 for the Eagles, and they're going to get a good starting field position. He falls all the way across the 40-yard line, and he's going to be spotted at about the 42. That's right around where the Eagles have started all day long, near midfield. Bulldogs starting on D, trail by 7. Obviously, don't want to make it any more than that. Heading out on defensive line for the Bulldogs, McLeod and Spazzato are on the interior, it looks like, and it's going to be Adams and Poole on the defensive end. Obviously, they you have Gorman to the outside, on the outside linebacker. 2 wide to the far side, 1 near side out of their double wing. Oh, single wing here, correction. And you can watch a quarterback draw happen right here. There's the motion, and he gives it this time. No room. Oh, he's dragging defenders. Oh, my gosh. Had him at 1 yard, literally dragging the defenders. Number 32. Again, Murphy for the Eagles. And that can't happen. The Bulldogs need to set the tone here out of the locker room. And the Bulldogs used every minute possible for adjustments. It's a chess match, folks. They go in there, that's like going into the science lab, they come out with a new formula, and it all comes together. That's the ideal goal. The Eagles right now, with a little bit of extra energy coming out, for some reason, I haven't put a finger on it yet, but the Bulldogs have to swing it. And it's going to come on a counter. And there's room, and then you get the last guy to bring him down. Thankfully, Jimmy Powers drags him down. He had a little alley, and that would have been a big gain. Otherwise, maybe 20-yarder he could have ripped off. Either way, it was a 10-yarder, and they're finding some alleys here in the defensive front. 1st and 10 for the marching Eagles at the 42-yard line. So like I said, the Bulldogs head to Shea next week, folks. And the Eagles fell to Shea 15-14. I mentioned it earlier in the game, but as you're watching this dogfight, one would think next week's not going to be all that much different. And we're going to bring it to you. We're going to bring it to you live, folks. Friday night. Murphy in the backfield. And a whistle blown. It's not a pretty-looking counter they're running. False start on the offense. It's bunched up, but it's working. And that looks like they just probably gave away some variation of it. I'm willing to bet he would have pulled it back from that counter back and followed him through. They're just waiting for the chance for him to. 1st and 15 to go. Crowd is on their feet and alive, folks. The atmosphere is here. Players just have to detonate the charge, folks. Great halftime show. The stage is set. McLeod swung momentum in the first half with a devastating hit. And he's going to keep it on the outside. It looked like an option. He kept it, and that's the gap he was looking for. And he's going to spring it, and they're not going to catch him. Touchdown, Eagles. They were looking for it. They were waiting for the draw. They were looking for it every play out of the half, and he found it off tackle. Big play. You can't give up the big play. Every time they score on that draw in the past 2 weeks, it's been a chunk. I just mentioned it. 20-something yards, 30-something yards, 30-something yards, and then that one for 40. Actually, there's another one mixed in there. They've given up 5 touchdowns in the past 2 weeks on the quarterback draw for over 25 yards. I mean, don't mark in the exact yardage, but I do believe that's a pretty accurate. Tolson last week had 3 for over 25 yards, and this week there's 2. That makes 5, and you can't win ball games like that. There's a problem in the front 8. Extra point, it didn't look great, didn't make it, and that could matter. That could matter, folks. Let's let that excite the Bulldogs. They got to find something to bring them together, to bring them up. And that could be it. Those are the little things that I say, wait till the end. That might come back. That might come back. Well, if the Bulldogs, they got to figure out a way to stop this team now, because now they're starting to move the ball whenever they get the ball. 9:59 to go, folks, in the third quarter of play. The Bulldogs now trail 20-7, about to receive. This production, folks, is brought to you in part by the Knickerbocker Music Center Live. Watch local bands live from the Nick in downtown Westerly, RI. A premium streaming service brought to you by the Knickerbocker Music Center and Westerly Live. Tim Killam for Westerly School Committee. Lori Wycall for Westerly School Committee. And Caswell Cook for Rhode Island State Senate. So, as the team's set to receive, let's see what the Bulldogs have cooked up offensively out of the locker room. Defensively, back to the drawing board. Bottom line. Yeah, I don't have the answer, that's for certain. So set to kick for the Eagles. Number 5, Will Hopkins. And back deep for the Bulldogs. Number 8, John Sullivan, and Terrell Hill, number 5. Bulldogs would be fantastic if they could pop one on the special teams. I mean, it's about time that they get the opportunity. We're seeing big chunk plays against them. We've seen it now. This is 2 weeks in a row. We actually saw Charo score on a big play as well. They've given their big play. They've given up big plays. Bottom line this season, too many, too early. And that's going to be a line drive kick. It's going to bounce in front of Hill. It's going to bounce by Hill. Will it get into the end zone? Let it go. Oh, man. Almost fell on it at the 1. It would have gone into the end zone, I think. He is in deep trouble. Just going parallel at about the 3-yard line, and the Bulldogs are absolutely buried. I don't know, man. That's a tough decision. I don't want to kill him for not picking it up because, A, it's a live ball. So if Barrington ran down fast enough, they could just scoop it up and score. But B, would it have rolled into the end zone? I don't know. Bulldogs buried. Things aren't going great out of the locker room. I can't paint all that pretty of a picture of things just yet, folks. But we got to see the Bulldogs come out of the dark, out of their own end zone, and they got to go 97 yards, folks. And they got to do it pretty good. They got to do it sometime here in the third quarter. 2 wide to the near side. We've obviously seen Gorman create a lot of space in the passing game. We'll see if it's able to be exploited again. Wind matters. Handoff. Left side goes inside the tackle. Nice run. Good push by the offensive line. And Tuck, that's going to be good for 10 yards. And way to get out of your own end zone. The first play when you're buried like that is such a pivotal play. And to get yourself unburied like that, now that is a big, deep sigh of relief for this Bulldog team. Williams goes in with it. So now it's 1st and 10. They can breathe. They can actually drop back for a pass now and not be in their own end zone. Tuck deep in the backfield. Gorman and Nelson to the near side. Out of the gun. And he gives it to him. Stretches it. He gets wrapped down in the backfield. The entire defensive line slanted that way on that play. That was evident. They slanted as early enough that I almost thought the flag would get dropped right into the play. They saw it coming. Loss of 4. So this Bulldog offense only able to muster 7 points thus far here, folks. Are back right down, buried a little bit again here. 2nd down and 14 from their own 10-yard line. Have showed an inability really to connect to stretch the field. There's been people there, but on a winning night like this, you don't want to be down by a lot depending on the pass. He's out of the gun again. Gets the clap and the snap, and he's going to fight. He's going to play action on the draw fake and overthrew Gorman. Pretty decent coverage. He threw a P to him. Gotta wonder if the wind's affecting the throwing game. It's definitely windy out. I'm not going to question that. I'm also not making excuses for the 7 points and the lack of production out of the half here. 2nd down and 14. What I am going to do is credit the Eagles because they've come out of the half, and what they're doing right now is setting the tone, folks. You score on the first possession, and then you bury them, and if you hold them here, you've successfully taking away home field advantage, I'll say. Giving orders, setting up his players. 2 wide to the far side. Takes the snap, gives it to Tuck. He's weaving his way to no man's land. There is nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. 2-yard gain maybe. And that is going to bring up about 4th and 10 as the punt team will come out. And even with a good punt, folks, I mean, the wind is swirling so much that Barrington's going to have really good field position here, I think. They're going to be on the Bulldog side of the field. And I'm also going to say that they haven't had really good punts here tonight, so I wouldn't expect it. You're looking at a ball around the 35-yard line if it goes the way it's been going. And the kick. It's up, waves fair catch, and it gets to the bobbles it, which made it live. Wonderful job of recovering there by number 20. And that's a good job by the punter and by the Western Special Teams of quieting me down. I was up in their face a little bit there, and he gets it out to the 46. So near midfield out of from your own 10 is not terrible. Bulldog defense has got to set the tone, can't give up any more here. With the offense doing what they're doing, 13 is about the max I'd be comfortable being down. 7:37 to go here in the third quarter of play, folks. On the voice, Greg Moran, alongside producer, owner Shane Belanger. We have Lisa and True behind the lens. We are Westerly.live, Westerly.radio, and we are trying to get you excited for the Bulldogs here. Cheerleaders are trying. The marching band, there was a show at halftime. The stage is set here at Salvador Jerry Field. Light the fuse, would you? Mitch McLeod did it once. We need somebody here in the second half. And there's a problem on D. Fazzaro's calling it out. So there's a communication problem here prior to the play already. He hands it off up the middle, and there he goes. Squirts forward for 9. Thank God number 14, Griffin Aldridge, was there, because if he didn't drag him down, that's another 7 on the board. Gain of about 9 yards, 2nd and 1. Just not in sync at all right now. And that's got to be frustrating, because I know that this staff implemented a lot of changes this week, and they're very confident coming in. And trailing by 13 with these players and with those changes, they definitely can overcome it. He's tried 2 pass attempts to players, or 2, maybe 3, other than Gorman. Motion, near side, cuts it back to the far side, blocked, and he throws it up the sidelines, almost makes a connection. Nice route, nice coverage by Fazzaro, did a really good job. He's having a nice game, number 33 for the Bulldog. He's been active. A little play action fake to number 20 on the drop back, and he ended up staying in and blocking, hoping that would be enough to suck up a corner or a safety, and Fazzaro didn't bite. 3rd down and short. Oh boy, I have that feeling, I don't know. Number 7 for the Eagles in the huddle. And let's see what they call. Up 13, you can run it 4 downs here. 2 wide right, 1 to the left. They don't often spread it out quite as much. Got Murphy in the backfield. Does he follow him? Does he give it to him, or does he roll around? Quarterback sneak. Murphy's going to shove him. And look at this pile move. Good enough for the 1st down and 3. Definitely moved the defensive line of the Bulldogs a good 3-4 yards. And right there, that play, folks, that movement, that 4 or 5 yards, that's the difference in this ball game. That's the difference in last week's ball game. Because that push creates little gaps, and that's what they're squirting through and scoring on these big chunk runs. In 1st and 10. From what looks to me around the 34-yard line of the Bulldogs. Heads down, they don't look all that excited, and they need to really have a pace changer here, folks. A lot of 2-way linemen out there. Morin on the defensive end on the near side. Gorman on the far side. They've made some switches here. Spazzato on the interior with McLeod, who plays just about every play and has to. And we have a false start on the Eagles. One of very few mistakes they have made today. That yellow flag has not come out a lot. It did come out versus Westerly once in the form of a personal foul, and it was on the far sideline, questionable. It was an aggressive play. Regardless, it hasn't been because of penalties. It hasn't been because of turnovers, folks. There just hasn't been a lot of yellow flags. There hasn't been a lot of turnovers, and there hasn't been any players down. So if none of those things are the reason, then what is? You got to narrow it down. I mean, it's nuts and bolts now. All right, here we go. Murphy out of the backfield. 1st down and 15 for the Eagles. Motion, Bo's back around. Gives it straight up to shoot, and that push is good for a few yards. They get the penalty back. It's going to bring it about 2nd down and 10. Crashing Gorman on that play, spilling and able to make the play from the side.
Picks up 5 yards. Second and 10.
And I really haven't seen them break anything outside the defensive ends. So in we go, and as Barrington marches, these minutes matter. We're down to 5 minutes already here in the third quarter of play. This production, folks, brought to you in part by McQuay's Ace Hardware, your local family-owned hardware store located on Franklin Street in Westerly, RI. And the Eagles take the line. 2 wide receivers far side. Wing right, Murphy in the backfield, timeout. Going to be called by Barrington. So Barrington trying to cook up something, because if they can create any more distance, maybe it's too much. Hopefully not. The Bulldogs trying to come up with an answer. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back, folks.
Hi, I'm Lori Wycall, and I'm running for Westerly School Committee. Our education needs to get back to basics. Students should be focusing on reading, writing, arithmetic, and science during the school day. We need safe and secure buildings, which means a student resource officer in every school, and disciplinary policies that hold students accountable. For years, I've been that parent, asking questions, looking for answers, and voicing my opinion. I'm still that parent, and I'll be there for you. Open, empathetic, and communicative. On November 8th, vote Lori Wycall for Westerly School Committee.
And back we are, folks, from the line. Second down and 10 for the Eagles, who are leading 20-7. Pitch on the option. Cuts inside number 20. Breaks a few tackles and Bulldogs gang tackle. That's nice to see. Gain of about 4 yards, and about 3 Bulldogs get over there and gang tackle. I haven't seen too much of it. Third down and about 8 to go. This is such a pivotal possession because this clock is ticking. Only 1 quarter left. 16 minutes of football to play here tonight, folks. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm looking down and I'm reading 15-14, and I'm watching the Barrington team. And I'm saying, okay, so they lost to Shea? Well, then they got to strap it up for next week, too. There is no easy game. Coach Dunbar said that in the preview of the season. He's repeated himself that there's no freebies. There's no gimmies this year, that's for certain. Realignment made sure of that, and that makes every minute in this game all that much more important. Motion to the near side. Gives it up the middle. That's Murphy. And he's off to the races. Goodbye, folks. Another chunk run. A chunk touchdown. That one goes from 33 yards out. That's the story so far for this Bulldog defense. They sometimes bend and then they just split. Because these chunk runs now, like I said, reading the article, there were 3 of them in the second half last week. And now we've seen 4 touchdowns of over 25 yards by the Barrington Eagles this week. That's you can do the math. That's 7 in 2 weeks. That's just frustrating to see. It really is, folks. So with that, I'll get to some sponsors. This production is brought to you in part by The Wireless Zone, your Verizon authorized retailer, located in Dunn's Corners next to Duncan. Cell phone sales, service, and repair. Get up to $1,000 off iPhone 14 with trade-in when you pre-order. The Eagles come out for the extra point, and it looks like they're looking to make up for the one they missed. And they're going to go for, yep, that's correct. They're going to go for 2 here. Under center with Murphy in the backfield. Wing to the left to make it an even 28. Back to pass, under pressure, eludes the pressure, and throws it up wide open, and he misses it, man. So they give up 2 points, and the score. Barrington Eagles 26, smacking the Westerly Bulldogs in the face right now at their home field. 26-7, 3:43 to go in the third quarter. And the Eagles came and they're marching. They really are. The Bulldogs have had their opportunities. There's no question. When you can say that, it's not because of any penalties. There's no turnovers, folks. It's coming right just down to play on the field. You can't say it's because this is you can't complain about anything. It's just coming down to the men on the field. And right now, there's something in their chemistry defensively, something schematically defensively is allowing for these chunk runs to be created. There's some hole at one of their levels of defense that these opposing offensive coordinators clearly have found. I mean, Portsmouth obviously saw it going into their game, and Barrington has exposed it consistently all night long tonight. They pound for a little, hit a home run. And that's just the story. And that's got to be so frustrating as a player. It really does, especially when you only got 3 home games. You only get one more here. You got a big crowd, and now you need something quick. You got to get this crowd back into this. Can you come back if you're Westerly? Absolutely. You got the best running back in the state of Rhode Island in Zach Tuck. You got Lance Williams, the warrior, one of the top cornerbacks in Rhode Island, in the backfield. You can make it work. And you got all-state lineman Mitch McLeod. You got Jimmy Power. You got some star talent on this team. Can you come back? Yes, you can. Do you need to start by getting on the board this possession? I do believe you do. You got to tell Barrington you're still there. They're chasing you. They're on fire right now, and they're going to corral them at about the 23. That's where the Bulldogs are going to get started. And this is an excited Barrington Eagle group. They got here late. Sometimes that throws you off. Not the Eagles, because they're soaring at the moment, folks. This production brought to you in part by Tim Killam for Westerly School Committee, Lori Wycall for Westerly School Committee, and Caswell Cook for Rhode Island State Senate. Folks, we got a big week ahead for you next week, too. We are going to be Monday night. We'll have some boys varsity soccer right here at Sal or Jerry Field, folks. And then Thursday, girls varsity volleyball, folks, they're 5-0. And then back at work here Friday on the road. That's Shay, football next week. Here we go. Tuck out of the gun. Williams out of the gun, Tuck behind him. And he gives it to Tuck, wrapped up immediately. Spozzato in the area, that hole blown up by the defense. And right now, everything going in Barrington's favor.
Actually loses a yard.
Defensive front is right now proving too much for the Bulldogs at the moment. The Bulldogs have done a nice job. Just not consistently, inconsistently, I'll say. Where they have good blocking on a pass play, they're giving William time. Just not quite consistently enough. Same thing goes for the defense, clearly. Trips far side for the Bulldogs. 2nd and 11. In a hole they need to get out of. Slant route, not close. Grab it to the arm, no flag. Don't think it was even catchable. They seem to be coming out. I know the wind. I think he's probably trying to throw through the wind. I don't know. I'm not a quarterback, folks. I know it's real windy, and the throws are coming in a little bit hot. I'm wondering if he's putting a little pepper on them to try to get less effect of the wind, so less deterrent from the wind. I'm just trying to get in the mind of a quarterback. That's all I ever try to do, and I talk, and that's all I do. And I'm the voice, Greg Moreno. You got to listen if you tune in. So the score, 26-7, folks. Bulldogs looking for any answer at the moment. Out of the huddle, they come. 3rd down and 11. Trips in a bunch to the left. Michael Poole split out near side, I think that's number 2. Oh, correction. That's number 8 near side, Sullivan. He's under pressure down from behind, and the ball didn't come loose. Oh, boy, it did. And the sack from behind, the blind side hit. And he's being celebrated with, I'm trying to get his number 21 for the Barrington Eagles. Noah Kranowitz, the senior. Sacks Williams, causes the fumble, the strip and fall, strip and pick, call it whatever you want. On air, I'll just call it the strip and pick. And it is 1st down and 10, and they're trying to put a nail in this thing in the 3rd quarter, folks. It's 2:34 to go. And it's an exhausted Bulldog team. You can see it now at this point. Things just not going your way now. A breakdown in the offensive front caused it. It wasn't long into the rollout. He was under pressure, Williams. Bulldogs defense forced to step up. Just got off the field. Half of them are the same guys that were just in a huddle on offense. I don't know. Motion. He gives it right up to shoot to Murphy, spinning his way forward. 3 yards on the play. Big surge by the line of the Barrington Eagles. And, man, I can't wait till next week. Cheerleaders trying to give the crowd a reason to get on their feet. And at this point, it's either going to be a turnover on downs or a turnover. With the wind the way it is and just the overall passing game, I got to be real. We have a passing game. We have a passing threat. We just don't have the type that I believe it's convenient to be down 26 in the fourth with. Not that anyone does. And he gives it to Murphy up to shoot, finds the split, bulldozing his way forward, down to about the 2-yard line. Hit that little gap on the second level again, delivering a punishment and a first and goal for the Eagles, who are trying to make it 32-7 here if they can cross that goal line again. And this would be the first turnover, first points off of a turnover, short drive. They can run it in. The rest have been on explosive big plays. Does it matter either way? Not really. And under center he is. Turns and keeps it. In he goes. Touchdown, and why not by the quarterback that seems to be who's absolutely killing the Bulldogs here this season in the past 2 games. Number 7, Alex McClellan, having a day. He's only a junior. He is only a junior. I have a note written next to his name. I can't read what I wrote. So it was something for you there, but I had pregame all set. They're going for the extra point, folks, 32-7. Eagles looking for 33. 1:11 to go, third quarter of play, Sal or Jerry Field. Westerly.live, Westerly.radio, bringing it to you, folks. And we're going to bring it to you next week. Like I said, Monday night soccer, Thursday night volleyball, and back at it on the road at Shea football Friday night. And it's a blocked extra point scooped up by number 5. He's going to throw it up to anybody, and it's caught. If they have linemen downfield, they have to. There's no way that number 73 was not downfield. So I do believe that's going to be waved off. Although they're happy and they're celebrating, that just shows the breaks they're getting. I got to be honest, a similar play on a field goal. The 49ers in the playoffs beat the Giants. They had linemen downfield. Didn't get the call. Not the case today, folks. But I'm going to bring it to you full throttle here in the fourth. I promise you that. I will guarantee you there'll be fireworks in the fourth. I'm not sure what color they're going to come out of. So the Bulldogs are going to force an extra point attempt again. Score is 32-7. Again, 1:11 left in the fourth. A frustrated Williams alone on the sidelines. And some of these players got to be kind of just shell-shocked, I think. I think that they know they're capable of more, and we're expecting more. Man, coming out of that camp that they went to this year, this was an excited ball club. No doubt it was. They had one heck of a preseason, a grueling preseason, a successful preseason. The team was united. I don't see arguing. I don't see that the team's not united. I still don't see that tonight. That's why I'm not quitting on this team. Because I do believe this team can come together and can do it. But things have to change in certain areas. Obviously, that's going to be the front 7, front 8 of the day. I mean, the scheme's got to change. The outcome's got to change. Something's got to change. One or the other or both. Offensively, it's a really, really windy night. Not a good night to be down by any points. Missing those balls to Gorman, I was thinking, all right, it's the first quarter. We'll make it work later on in the game. And they did one time. But the 3 missed touchdown opportunities, I don't know that they're going to be left on the table for you. You left them hanging. And in the second half, coming out of the half, the Eagles immediately take control of the first possession. They immediately took momentum. They stole the energy right out of the crowd, right out of Sal Jerry Field. They stole the air. So now the Bulldogs got to take it back. They can. 1:11 to go in the third. 13 minutes and 11 seconds to go in this ball game. That's plenty of time if you have a really good, amazing comeback. Let's see what the Bulldogs do this possession. While he sets to kick, folks, this production brought to you by the Knickerbocker Music Center Live. Watch local bands live from the Nick in downtown Westerly, RI. A premium streaming service brought to you by the Knickerbocker Music Center and Westerly Live. Here we go. Another Barrington kick. His legs got to be sore. And the Bulldogs catch it on the run. It's going to be number 8, John Sullivan. He comes to the near sideline. He's got space. Can he outrun it? Can they do something especially? He's got one man to come back from, and he gets all the way down, falls down to the 25. The Bulldogs are awake. The crowd's awake. The cheerleaders awake. Can they draw blood here, folks? 57 seconds left in the third. Can we have a ball game, please? That's what we needed. Number 8, John Sullivan, the senior linebacker. Thank you. Let's finish the drive, Bulldogs. They needed a spark. That's what they needed. But now they got to finish, and they got to do it in somewhat respectively quick fashion. In comes Cesaro. Little substitution on the field. Powers out. Bozek in. In comes Williams with the play. Here we go, folks. Did they light the fuse? Did the Bulldogs start? Out of the gun. Trips to the far side. Bozek on the near side. Tuck switches to the right. Near side. Williams. Signature clap. He's got the blocking. He's got the throw. And he sails it. Again, he was open. Again, it would have been a touchdown. Again, they can't make the connection. Oh, the frustration is all over their faces. 3 more downs. But how many do they give you as a defense? There's a 3-man substitution on the field. These guys got to be getting tired. They can't make the connection, but Wireless Zone does for us, folks. Your Verizon authorized retailer located in Dunn's Corners next to Duncan. Cell phone sales, service, and repair. Get up to $1,000 off iPhone 14 with trade-in when you pre-order. Here come the Bulldogs, 2nd down and 10, trying to steal back a little bit of the remaining energy at this field. They gave this crowd reason to get on their feet and hope. Let's finish. Under center, Powers in front, Tuck behind them, just trying to run through them, old school style. And they gain a good 7-8 yards by the mark on the play by Power and 4. We're at 41 seconds, counting. What do the Bulldogs try to do? You try to run a play, clearly. Definitely get a playoff. They will. 3rd down and 3 we have here. 4 down territory without question for the Bulldogs. Meaning they will go for it on 4th down in an attempt to get a 1st down from anywhere remaining on this drive. Powers at fullback. Tuck deep. Motion near side. And again, they hand off to Tuck. Reads his blockers right up the middle. Good for a 1st down and down to the 13. As they run the old school power, old school straight high. And this offensive line and this team, folks, has not quit. This Bulldog team will not quit. I know they won't. Their coaching staff wouldn't allow. They're not coached to. And this just shows you that they will not quit in this game. But this is the end of 3 quarters, folks. The Bulldogs have 7. Barrington Eagles, 33. Things haven't gone exactly as we would have liked here at South Jerry Field thus far. We got 12 minutes to go, folks. We're going to take a quick break while they try to make an adjustment here. Welcome back, everybody. 1 quarter to go. We are starting the 4th quarter of action. Sal Algieri Field, folks, have been all Eagles. And when I say it's been all Eagles, there's an asterisk because I'm looking at it from a breakdown standpoint upstairs and trying to break down the game. And the opportunities missed in the passing game for the Bulldogs are the story of the scoring disparity here. There's no doubt about it. There's a problem on the interior defensively in the front at one of the first 2 levels defensively. They got to answer that. But right now, they have a chance to score and keep this game alive. Under center, out of the eye again. 3rd straight play out of the eye. Again, Tuck's going to stretch it and go straight forward, and he's going to fall for a gain inside the 10-yard line as the Bulldogs are simply going to bulldoze their way into the end zone. And maybe this is a tactic that should have been explored a little earlier. We'll have to see, but it only worked. I mean, you can't run any straight eye power all game long from the 1st quarter to the 4th, folks. So don't wonder why Coach Dunbar doesn't do that. That doesn't work. It's actually a really smart move right now in my estimation. I mean, you got to wonder what this little hiccup is defensively that would allow 5 today, 8 block touchdowns of 20, 25 yards or more in 2 weeks. And out of the deep backfield, wrestling his way forward, and he is getting called down at the 1-yard line. just to allow a few what are precious seconds. Every second precious now, folks, because the Bulldogs are going to get on the board here in a second. More than likely, I have full confidence, and that's going to put them within 3 scores. We'll see what the defense can do.
First and goal for the Bulldogs.
I look down here. It's first and goal, but I look down on the paperwork in front of me. I didn't get to most of it, so apparently I wasted a lot of time doing research this week. But right in front of me, I have the season preview. And let me get this play here again out of the eye. Gorman to the left, and he's going to be in a short motion back to Tuck. He gets wrapped up and dragged down immediately. They give him the causes of play, but a violent tackle by the Eagles, who do not let the Bulldogs in the end zone very easily, but they score their 13th point of the day. And I got to be honest, folks, I didn't excite the crowd one bit. I'm looking at them, and they need more. They need more in this time. There's 10:31 to go here in the fourth and final quarter of play. I am the voice, Greg Morano, alongside producer and owner Shane Belanger. We have Lisa and True upstairs behind the lens. We're Westerly.live, Westerly.radio, and we're bringing it to you. And unfortunately, the score doesn't reflect what we would have hoped coming into this or what we would have expected. And again, I expect next week to be different. I really do. I think I'm a bit, I think the players are a bit shell-shocked. I really do. Wondering how this is all breaking down. I'm just surprised at how, I guess I'm just kind of a little late to players. We'll see how they approach this. Are they going to approach it with an onside? You need the ball back. Or do you just kick? I don't have the answer, but you definitely see the frustration on the Bulldogs sideline. And it's for good reason. It really is. I think they did not expect to be where they're at here in the fourth quarter. Seemingly going to walk off their home field with only one home game left at 0-2 in the division. But, again, 2 is a very small number. Let me count here. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so 9 opponents. 2 is not a huge number. We have 7 division games remaining. You're talking with if they were to win those games, folks, you're still talking fighting for a 2 seed, 3 seed. You're still talking the possibilities of a real season here, a real good season. So don't you quit on this Bulldog team by any means. I'm telling you, I know the coaching staff and I know the players, and they're not quitting on their season, and they have talent on the field. There is no doubt about it. I've watched these players. More adjustments will be made. More practice will be done. And I'm confident it's going to be different results because the bright spots are bright. It's just the bleak spots are just too often. And it's a semi-onside squib kick. Great bounce in this game. Scooped up by the third level of the receiving team. And he's dancing on the far side. Finally knocked out of bounds all the way up to about the 35, 37-yard line. Okay, now the Bulldog defense has to do it. We got to make it stop, and we got to make it really quickly. Can't allow a Barrington drive. 10:21 to go. You got work to do. 3-score game. No matter how you break it down, go for 2, do whatever you want. You need to get in there 3 more times. You can't give up any, and that's not good to see. A Bulldog player getting helped off the field. And out comes Barrington. Haven't changed much, and the quarterback's going to keep it on this one. Makes some moves, and he's fighting his way forward. And he's still on his feet fighting his way forward, and he's going to get 8 yards. Going to get 8 yards on a quarterback draw. He ran it inside the tackle, off the guard. I mean, what he's essentially doing when he pulls that ball back is he is allowing 4 blockers to get in front of him. He's allowing 2 guards, a center, and the running back to essentially get in front of him. And with the Bulldogs, you got your 2 interior defensive linemen, or you got your interior and your exterior. It's always going to be 4 against 4, leaving the running back with nobody on him, is what I'm seeing here tonight. They have enough blockers for the defense to allow the running back through. And that's something that's going to be adjusted. And Barrington, we did a little equipment break on the equipment timeout on the field. So that's a free stoppage of the clock. And it's broken shoelace, one would assume, and from there. So next week, folks, we're going to head to Shea, and that's going to be no treat. Tonight, there's football all over the place in Rhode Island, and I'm looking to see where Shea falls into the mix today. And they don't, they play tomorrow. All right, Barrington back on 0, 1st and 10. 46-yard line, moving. And a whistle. I think the offensive line doing a little bit too much communicating, movement. Nope. It'll back him up 5 yards.
False start from Barrington. That'll be 1st and 15.
First down and 15 to go for Barrington, and the clock is running. We are at 9 minutes, and we have 2 wide to the left. I wouldn't expect the ball to go in the air for any reason if you're an Eagle. The Eagles haven't had to fly, they've run. And motion on the far side, hands it off right up the scoop. That's going to be Murphy. He's going to bulldoze his way across for a gain of about 6 yards. Gets the penalty yards back. And that's going to bring got more than that back, excuse me. Wrestled his way all the way forward to 2nd down and 7 to go. And all timeouts still in your pocket. You need to force a turnover. You're going to have to see him start reaching for that old football. Gorman on the near side. Rolled up on the line of scrimmage. This near side. One linebacker essentially in position. And it's coming to where it was, and it's a counter. Bulldog defense is ready and there. They lose about 1 yard on the play. Bulldog defense snuffed that one out all over it. Bring up 3rd down and 7 to go. And Barrington will punt if a 4th down occurs, just to bury the Bulldogs, take time and require more time for them to get on the board. But the Bulldogs just waiting for that special teams burst that they've seen happen against them so often this year. They've given up big plays on D, scoring plays, and they've given up big plays on kick return. And you can't do both of those for certain. And you can't do them in the same game, and that's what happened last week, and that's what happened this week, which essentially brings us to where we are, 7:23, and they're letting it run. You're just going to watch the play clock run down. And he follows Murphy, creates some room. He is off to the races. This is ridiculous. Number 7 in the end zone for the Eagles. Another broken defense. And there's a flag on the play. Let's hope it's a holding penalty if you're a Bulldog. And it is. It comes back. Because, man, I know I'm sick of doing the math between last week and this week, allowing them to break that second level of defense and then just take off. It's unheard of how many times this has occurred. I mean, you're looking at 7, 8, 9 times in 2 games, they're able to chunk 25, 30, 35, 40-yard plays off. And it's the same one, running a different variation. Bulldogs get a break on the holding penalty. It's going to bring up 3rd down and long, about 8. But you definitely see a frustrated team out there, and I would be as well. Letting the play clock tick. Barrington doing everything they wanted to do here in the second half. They did an excellent job of the little adjustments they needed to make. There weren't many. And they took control, and Portsmouth did the same exact thing. The Bulldogs were in it for the first half. And Portsmouth, and they were in it for the first half here. And they have not proven to be a second half team thus far. Do I believe they will? I know the athletes on the team from when they were at the PB level. Yeah, I do know they will. I know that the coaches will make sure that they do. It's just frustrating that it's going to take till game 3. Game 3 of league action. There's a timeout on the field. The score, Barrington Eagles 33, Westerly Bulldogs 14. I'm going to let you shoot timeout. Shut me up for a minute, and we're going to go on a quick break.
I am Timothy Killam. I'm running for Westerly School Committee, and I ask for your vote on November 8th. In November, we have our school bond on the ballot, facing the needs to renovate our elementary schools. Our high school and middle school both were renovated within the last several years. However, the elementary schools have always been lacking in repairs. I have had the opportunity to have a student attend every single elementary school within our district for at least one full school year, and being an involved parent, I was able to see the efficiencies and deficiencies of our buildings. Now is the time. We need our improvements in our buildings done for our students, staff, and families in Westerly. We need better climate control, better lighting, improved technology. Those are just some of the things that will help our students grow and prosper within Westerly.
And we are back, folks. Westerly.live, Westerly.radio at Sal or Jerry Field, bringing you some Bulldog action. I really wouldn't call it action at the moment. Fourth down, and Barrington's running it down and going to go for it here. Calls a timeout. They were hoping maybe a jump and a free first down. They're going to come out of the timeout and bury the Bulldogs with a punt. And the Bulldogs will take over on downs, it appears, which is a positive. And that's what this team's looking for. This team's definitely a frustrated squad right now. And they're going to go back to the drawing board. That's what you do. I had to do it when I was an athlete a few times. That's what you got to do as a team. You got to stay as a team. And you know what, folks? I'm going to tell you, talking to the players and coaches I did talk to, that's one factor on this team I haven't seen is I haven't seen them fighting. I haven't seen them getting at each other. I haven't seen them quit on any games physically out there. There's a problem. There's obviously a technical issue going on here. Some kind of an issue going on. But bottom line is, they're playing as a team. There's no inner fighting. I don't see any of that. And that was all the reports that we got. This coaching staff has these guys together. So this is a long season. And I don't want our viewers or any of the fans here to think that this season is in the books by any means. This team, I'll tell you right now, I'll call it, this team's going to go to the playoffs. There's no doubt about that. You earn your spot to the show, and then anything can happen. This is a long season, so make sure you stay tuned as the season progresses. Barrington set to punt to the Bulldogs. If they break this, who the hell knows? And the kick. It's going to be let on the ground by Williams. Smart, about 4 Eagles there. And the Bulldogs are going to take over at first down and 10 at their own 25-yard line. 6 minutes and 15 seconds left to go. Tune in Monday night, folks, 6:30 for some boys Bulldog soccer action. Then we're back in Federico Gym on Thursday, folks. The ladies volleyball teams having a fantastic start to their season. They are 5-0. And what an unbelievable match we got to cover on Wednesday night. Went 5 sets to the tilt. And they came out victorious. I came out with a voice barely, but what a fantastic night. Williams, that quarterback, tucked to the left. Trips right. Bozek near side. Williams looks past Bozek, catches it, outside shoulder, forced out of bounds, not out of bounds. I think he's in bounds. Nice catch and nice pass and catch. Williams to Bozek, first down for the Bulldogs. Morin sets at center at the ball. In and out to Fazaro, caught. Going to be kept in bounds, gain of about 7 on the rollout. Going to bring up second down and about 4. As the line hurries to get set for the Bulldogs, they have trips near side. Nelson, Gorman, Fazaro near side. Bozek far side. Oh, snap, hits the ground. Williams able to get into it under duress, rolls out, near side. He's going to tuck and go. He's got room, and he's got a block on the edge, and outside he goes, out of bounds he goes. Nice play, big play for the Bulldogs. And you got to understand, folks, I know a lot of viewers and stuff say, well, why didn't they do this all game? Why didn't they do that all game? Well, Barrington has changed their defense and is allowing a little bit more room at the line of scrimmage because these runs they're good plays. There's no doubt about it, but they're great plays because they're getting out of bounds every time. Barrington's kind of in a bend but don't break situation here. 5:25 to go. Bulldogs do have a couple timeouts. 3-possession game here. Morin sets the ball. Trips to the wide side. Bozek near. Tucked in the backfield. Shifts to the right side. And it's that signature clap. It doesn't appear that they vary their cadence. I don't hear him, but if you're watching that clap on the run, throws up the post. And off the fingertips. Flag in the backfield. Did Williams get hit later? Was there a hold? And with the frustration, there's a hold. And there's a hold. So if that, it's good that he didn't catch it because that would have been just more disturbing. Well, there was a hole, so the Bulldogs are going to back up a little bit. But I don't know because I obviously can't hear the quarterback. I'm sure we have the capability of getting the audio up that high, so I could. But it's just that patented clap and snap, I call it, from Williams. It just seems like the ball comes out at a similar duration of time after he claps. Meaning, from a distance, it appears like he's going on the same cadence almost every play. And if that's the case, that's something I, at least, as a defender, would key on. I don't know. I'm sure he's not. They'll take the huddle here. 5:16 to go. Trips near side. Nelson, Gorman, Fazaro, Bozak far side, tucked in the backfield. Plenty of weapons. Takes the snap, quick throw, quick pump, jump throw. Number 3 has it, Nelson. Gain of about 4 on the play as he's taken down by about 6 Eagles. That was a wide receiver slip screen inside. Just not a lot of room. And lucky that actually number 21 for the defense overran him, as you saw in the replay. And as the time starts to tick down, folks, this production is brought to you by McQuay's Ace Hardware, your local family-owned hardware store located on Franklin Street in Westerly, RI, your fall cleanup headquarters. Wireless Zone, your Verizon authorized retailer located in Dunn's Corners next to Duncan. Cell phone sales, service, and repair. Get up to $1,000 off iPhone 14 with trade-in when you pre-order. Bulldogs take the line, same formation. Same crew to the left, same crew on the far side. Tuck in the backfield. Second down and 20 or so. Midfield. 2-step, throw, Gorman catch, down. Not even back to the original line of scrimmage. Again, about 8 kept in bounds. Clock will run. They're going to hurry back to the line seemingly, but. So they ran 2 routes to the sidelines, were able to successfully get out of bounds, and then 2 up the hashes and unable to get out of bounds. As the final minutes are ticking away in this one, I think reality has come to fruition here for the men in blue tonight. We've seen some crazy stuff. I think we'll have to start right this instant. Bulldogs take the line, 2 men wide on each side. Looking to the wide side, more than likely. He's going to roll wide. Throws quick. Caught, wrapped up immediately. I don't even know if he kept possession. If he did, that's a great job. And he did. Great defense. Defense converges on that ball. Look how quick he's wrapped up. That is great D. And that's a great replay by Westerly.live, Westerly.radio. Bringing it to you, folks. Next week, bring it to you Monday, Thursday, Friday. We don't stop. They're playing here. We're going to bring it to you. Got some exciting teams here this fall. Just springboarding after last spring.
On the tackle for Barrington, Chucky Potter.
That are going to keep the excitement going while this Bulldog team gets everything together. And there's going to be fireworks next week. Next Friday night, I promise you, folks, we're going to bring it to you. They're going to bring it for us. They're going to make it easy to get excited next week. I got a feeling. Trips near side bunch. 1 man far side. 4th down and 6. 2:30 to go. And he gets the defense almost to go. Snap didn't go. Throw near side to the sideline, caught, and he cuts in and back out wisely. Number 3, Nelson on the reception. Out of bounds he goes. And that'll keep the Bulldogs offense on the field, I do believe. And it does. Williams getting the play.
First down, Bulldogs.
Clock stopped at 2:19. And as they figure things out, this production is also brought to you folks by the Knickerbocker Music Center Live. Watch local bands live from the Nick in downtown Westerly, RI. A premium streaming service brought to you by the Knickerbocker Music Center and Westerly Live. Tim Killam for Westerly School Committee. Lori Wycall for Westerly School Committee. And Caswell Cook for Rhode Island State Senate. Bulldogs take the line, 1st and 10. As they're trying to cut the deficit, and I guess if you would see the score on a ticker, it wouldn't look quite as bad as it really has been. Williams looking, and he's going to get taken down. No room to throw. Look how tough he is to take down, though, folks. And he's fought with everything, all his might here tonight. The recipe just wasn't there. 2 minutes and counting here on this one. It's been a game of big plays. And Portsmouth kind of grounded down a little bit, but that was a game of big plays. They gave up a big play in special teams against Charahoe. It's just big play, and then they get insurmountable. You can't overcome it. It's early. And he rolls to the far side. Throws the out route, caught, cuts his way up, makes a move. He's got room. Oh, man. What a violent hit on the far side to Gorman. Oh, not to Gorman, correction. He is down on the field. That is Nelson down on the far side that needs attention. That was definitely a big hit as he is being attended to and his players huddle up. You definitely don't want to see someone go down, especially in a situation like this, or ever. But this is a violent game, and that was, it appeared to be inbounds when he was struck by a freight truck with a full steam. And that is pretty much how, honestly, folks, how this regular season has gone for the Bulldogs. This league season's gone thus far for the Bulldogs. Something good happens, and it's always like a trap door. But that's the beauty of it, is that it's early. So we're going to take a break, folks, while they tend to the injured player. All right, we are back, folks, in a round of applause for the injured player. It was a big hit, and able to walk out under his own power. Perfect. That's definitely don't want to see anyone go down. As this Bulldog team nears the end of this one in the end zone, we got 1:26 to go in this. And we got to hope there's no further injury. Looks like it's his arm he's checking. That looks like where the main collision was, actually. Was on his arm. So we'll have to see, but that's just an icing on a crab cake. Out of the gun, tucked deep. And Bulldogs trying to get enough players on the field at this point. In comes Powers. Quick throw. Fade, deep end zone. He goes up and grabs it. Touchdown, Westerly. Easy, almost like he could have done it all day, but that connection just wasn't meant to be when it was needed to be. Bulldogs do make the connection, and that'll add to their point total, 33 to 20. And they'll set up for the extra point. With 1:19 to go in this one, folks. Westerly.live, Westerly.radio, bringing to you live from Sal or Jerry Field. Not the results we were hoping. Bulldogs never quit, just popped them in the end zone, though. So make some adjustments, and they're going to head to Shea next week. And Shea doesn't seem like any easy task. They play tomorrow. They're 0-1 in the league, but they lost to this Barrington team, this very Barrington team that we're down 2 touchdowns, so they only lost 2 by a point. So it's going to be a tough one next week. It's going to be a very tough challenge. All indications say. So strap up and get ready, because we're going to bring it to you. But first, we have boys soccer on Monday, and we got some undefeated girls volleyball action. They take the court on Thursday, and we'll bring that to you from Federico Gym. So even in this situation, what impresses me about this Bulldog team is, I said they don't get down on each other. They don't. They help each other. You see them patting each other, getting each other mentally, you know what I mean? You can see inner fighting in some teams, and you can see teams break down like that to the core, and that's what shakes the core of a team and won't allow a team to bounce back from a start like this. They don't have that. They have a solid core. They do. They have a solid staff. They make sure they have a solid core. That makes sure that they can make adjustments that are going to change this. I have full faith in that. But I haven't always been great with my predictions. Set the kick for the Bulldogs, number 7. 1:19 to go, and it's likely that they're going to make them run plays, I'd imagine. The whistle. Going to be an onside kick. And it's loose. It's loose. Oh, they could have got it 3 times, and it's still loose. And I think Barrington has it, from what I saw they do. That ball was in Westerly's hands twice. And that's just what kind of night it's been. You saw the frustration on the coaches right in front of it. The Eagles did land on it and secure it, but Bulldogs had a chance there. Son of a gun. And they're frustrated. And they take the field on D now. Haven't gotten the breaks thus far this year. Even the Charahoe game was a challenging one, folks. I mean, that was a challenge. So it hasn't been an easy road to get to where they're at. Hopefully, as long as they get out of this one healthy, they can put it all behind them and start their new chapter next week at Shea. And some pretty basic plays you're going to see out of Barrington Eagles. You know what you're going to see? The same thing they've been running all night, which is the same thing that Portsmouth ran. And he's going to keep it. He's tucked already, and there's no room this time. Bulldogs wrestle him down. Loss of about 4 on the play.
Number 7.
And the Bulldogs are either going to use their timeout, and that's what they do. So 1:05 stop to go. As the cheerleaders continue. So it doesn't look really like it was. 33-21. How do you paint the picture on this one? Was it terrible? Well, they got the 33 points, so that's not good. So there's obviously something that you got to look at. But what about all those missed connections by inches, by a couple inches or feet, or just bottom line, missed reception opportunities? The wind was a huge factor. The Bulldogs had men open, and I'm talking had men open for big plays and often. And I think the wind, he was trying to throw through it, putting a little extra zip on it, but the wind caused the ball to move around a little bit and sail quite often on him. And that, unfortunately, was the difference in the offensive point total for the Bulldogs. There you go. Right up the middle, Murphy. Nowhere to go. Thrown down by number 9 and company. Aldrich, Sullivan, and Gorman. 3rd down and 10. Bulldogs use another timeout. So they will get the ball back, hopefully. You never know. But Barrington comes in, seemingly does what it needed to do, and is going to head out of here. They're going to head out of here with a 1-1 league record, 2-1 overall record. Bulldogs going to head out of here with a 1-2 record, and unfortunately an 0-2 league record. And like I said, the opponents, so let's like Coach Dunbar said, I'm just repeating what he said, that there's no easy games. He said it in black and white, and every game is going to be a challenge. That's proved to be the case. Even in their non-league game, it was by no means an easy task. Barrington takes the field. 3rd down. Motion Hand off to Murphy up the middle. Down he goes after pushes forward for about 4 yards. And he's done a nice job here tonight for the Eagles. And that's going to do it. There's no more timeouts in the pocket of the Bulldogs. So now the clock will tick down. We're below 39 seconds in this one, folks. It is 4th down and 5 to go. They'll more than likely let the play clock run out, take the penalty, and then punt. That's what I would do, but I'm not them, and it looks like he's rushing in and doing something different. Under center, he's going. Murphy in his stance, and he's letting the play clock run down. And he is going to take the penalty, and they're going to punt. Wow, it's as though I was in their huddle. And that's going to do it on this one, folks. They don't even need to punt. So that wraps it up here at Sallow Jerry Field. Folks, didn't go the way we wanted to, but that's why we play again. That's why there's more games, and that's why we're going to bring you some more Westerly football. There were seconds on the clock. That's why I didn't think it was over. I didn't think he could have it over. I thought he had to take the flag and punt. But somehow the players just left the field. Regardless, in the big picture of things here, folks, the final score, it appears, is going to be Barrington Eagles 33, Westerly Bulldogs 21. Eagles are going to be forced to get rid of the last 3 seconds, so I just run backwards. Actually, I wouldn't even punt it away. I just run around for 3 seconds, hit the ground, and put this thing officially on paper. And we will be back with you folks on Monday at 6:30 right here, Sallow Jerry Field. Boys Bulldogs soccer, looking for a different result. Having a good start to their season as well. And back he runs for 3 seconds and falls down. And that will put a cap on this one before the fireworks were ever able to explode, folks, unfortunately. I am the voice, Greg Morano, alongside producer, owner, Shane Belanger. We had Lisa and True behind the lens. We are Westerly.live, Westerly.radio. Just brought you Westerly football live, and we'll be bringing you back 6:30 p.m. Monday night. Tune in, Westerly Live, signing off.